Hi everyone, it's Nicole Wilkins with FitnessRx for Women, and this is my next question and answer segment where I took your questions from Facebook and I'm going to answer them for you today. The first question I have is, I have noticed that a lot of women in fitness with body definition that I want stick to the same foods every day. I have trouble with this as I get bored with the same thing. How do you combat this and still get your results, or is it a matter of just sticking it out if I want the body muscle definition? You don't have to stick to the same foods every day. You can mix it up and switch out your protein sources, switch out your carbohydrates, switch out your fat sources, and that comes with practice. So a lot of times we stick to similar foods every day because it's just easier to prepare. I know for myself, I cook in bulk, so I cook a lot of one food at a particular time, so I might eat the same thing for 4 days straight, and it doesn't bother me. So everybody's a little different. I don't get bored with the foods that I have. I just eat because I know it's good for me and I know that it will help me get the body that I want. So I think it's individual. But yeah, I mean, as long as you're hitting your macros every day, I think you can switch up your food sources as you see fit. How many rest days do you take a week? And when you actually rest, do you still do yoga or cardio? I've read you should still do some type of stretching or cardio. If you wanted to stretch on an off day, that's fine, but to me, an off day is off everything. Off yoga, off cardio, off working out, nothing. So I take one rest day a week, and during that day, I am very chill. Hi Nicole. In your profession, are you always camera ready? I mean, at any given time, could you get in a bikini and do a photo shoot? I read the fitness magazines and feel so discouraged that after all my hard work, I still do not look like that. Is it unrealistic that anybody could look like that all the time? And those models did some serious dieting for that shoot, or worse, the photos are touched up. I know this may be giving away secrets, but I appreciate the truth. Thanks so much. I want to point out one thing first before I answer your question. You should never try to look like somebody else, because you're never going to look like somebody else, just like they can never look like you. Your goal should be to be your best self, so always try to improve what you're already working with. You're always going to be disappointed if you try to look like somebody else. So with that said, in the fitness profession, as a professional athlete who is sponsored by companies that may do photo shoots, it is required for us to be within photo shoot shape about 2 to 4 weeks before actual photo shoot. So we could be called at any given time and say, hey, would you be ready for a photo shoot? And you shouldn't be so far off that a little bit of extra cardio and cutting your calories a little bit to tighten things up shouldn't work. So it's not good to get way off track. We work really hard, and it's part of our profession, so we have to eat very clean all the time, and we have to work out consistently on a regular basis to keep our body in good shape. Are photos touched up in the magazines? Yeah, of course. A lot of times they are. And it could just be a skin imperfection. So don't think the person that is in the magazine isn't actually in good shape for that shoot in real life. They're not obese and then photoshopped down to like super small. I mean, most of the models you see actually do have abs and muscle definition. So I hope that answers your question. Just don't get discouraged by looking at everyone else who has your ideal body, because just know that there's a lot of work that is put into that, and you can do it too. And the last question I have is, hi Nicole, I wanted to know what's the maximum amount of protein a woman should have at each meal. Can too much cause fat gain? Overabundance in calories can definitely cause fat gain, whether that's from fats, carbs, proteins. Protein for a woman, I would recommend 1 gram per pound. So if you split that up, it's about 30 grams per meal, and that's usually sufficient. So about 4 ounces of a piece of chicken breast, or basically a protein the size of your palm. So, those are my questions for this week. Until next week, keep asking your questions on the FitnessRx for Women Facebook page, and I'll be back here every Friday to answer them for you. Until then, keep living the fit life.